Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GM Sports Report, your weekly podcast on all things sports, where every play counts. I'm Grant, and I'm here with my co-host Mason and special guest today, and Matt, as we get ready to cover the latest news, headlines, and upcoming events going on in the sports world. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see all things GM Sports Report. Mason and Matthew, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Excited to be here. Excited
That's
to be
good.
here.
So, for those of you
I'm
who
doing
don't know,
good,
Matt,
guys.
Matt is a pretty long time best friend of ours, big Cowboys fan. So we have him in here to later on discuss the Cowboys versus Giants game happening this week. But happy to have you on, Matt.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right, so real quick, we're just going to give a quick NFL game prediction update. For those of you who don't know, on our Instagram and TikTok at GM Sports Report, we list our weekly predictions every week. Right now, my record is 27-21, and Mason's is 25-23. So he caught a couple games on me last week and is getting a little bit closer to me, but he's still behind me a little bit. So we'll see how that plays out in the future. All right, so we're going to start off with our hot takes of the week. So I want to start with the guest first. Matt, what is your hot take this week?
So my hot take, this is going to hit hard for me and Mason. After watching the later Monday night game last night, my hot take is Commanders win the division this year.
Oh, whoa. You want to explain a little bit?
Ridiculous.
I think the Eagles, they struggle. Eagles struggle.
Mm-hmm.
They can't hold it on long term. They're going to fall apart every year they do. Cowboys, dude, it hurts to say, but it's not our year, boys. It's not our year. Giants, I don't think I have to do much explaining there. I'm just going to let it.
We're coming back.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I think Commanders are the most well-rounded team in our division.
They looked very good last night.
Looks good. He had one game where his first game, it kind of took him a little bit. But the second half of his first game, his last 9 quarters, I think, have been some of the best quarters a QB has done this season. And I just think him with Terry McLaurin, he's finally starting to find him.
Yeah, that was
nice. Their defense was looking good under – Dan Quinn, he's a head coach, but he's a defensive-based head coach. I think he's really putting that defense together, and I think that they – will win the division this year.
Nice. I like that. That is a hot take, but I can see that happen, and I think they've looked very impressive so far. Mason, what's your hot take this week?
My hot take, Malik Neighbors will win Rookie of the Year over Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Right there. He's on pace for 130 receptions, 1,500 yards, and 17 touchdowns. So,
do you think that you can trust Daniel Jones, passing him the ball every week? I know it's looked good the last 2 weeks, but do you think that can continue?
I think so, because if he's week 2, he was getting 18 targets that game. He's just going to keep throwing it to him. So he's really the only guy we can throw it to, him and Wan'Dale Robinson, who's been our solid slot guy. But Neighbors is clearly our offense right now. So if he could stay healthy and we keep pushing him the ball, I think we can, get some good production out of him.
Okay. He's looked very good the last 2 weeks, so
that's fair.
I can see where you're thinking. My hot take of the week, it may not be a hot take to a lot of people, but I know you guys both hate Philly a lot, so that's why I threw it in here.
Brother.
Come on, man. I think that Saquon Barkley is a lock to win Offensive Player of the Year this year. He's just looked absolutely dominant. He's had 63 carries, which is second, 351 yards, which is first, four rushing touchdowns, which is tied for first, and receiving, he's had 10 receptions, 53 yards, and a touchdown. So he's by far looked like the best offensive player in football, in my opinion. That's my hot take. Sorry, Mason, but I had to say it. It needed to be said. That's my hot take this week. Okay.
Next segment.
You good there?
Okay. Next segment.
All right. So next we're going to go into the new segment that we started last week, which is our Underdogs of the Week. This is where we list off, some teams, some players that don't get noticed as much. Matt, who is your underdog of the week?
My underdog this week are the New York Mets. You got to do them. We have had the best record in baseball since May 30th. We're going against the Braves. We win 2 out of 3 this week. We win getting the wild card. We just passed Arizona. Just passed Arizona for the second spot. So, I think they're underdogs. They've been underdogs all year. Everyone looks at the Yankees, but no one's looking at the Mets and what they've been doing recently.
Mets have been very impressive as of late. And like you said, this series against the Braves is going to be a fun one to watch. It's going to
I'm
be
excited.
basically a playoff series. So
Yeah.
should be fun. All right, Mason, with the Yankees hat on, who is your underdog of the week?
So my underdog of the week was my New York Football Giants that played the Cleveland Browns. Everyone kind of had us out already, but Daniel Jones decided to prove all the haters wrong at 24 out of 34 for completions, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Malik Neighbors, 8 receptions, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Giants defense came to play too. 8 sacks and 11 pressures, 2 fumble recoveries. So that first half of Giants football was solid. Second half, Giants came back to their original state of playing, but I think they proved a lot of people wrong this week at least. We'll see where they go in the future.
Okay. A little bit of a homer pick, but we'll let it slide. My underdog of the week is going to be the Detroit Tigers. Now, for those baseball fans, they know how hot the Tigers have been lately. On August 11th, they had a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs. And as of today, they have a 61.9% chance to make the playoffs. In their last 30 games, they are 21-9, and they hold one of the wild card spots at this time. They have been red hot. They have great pitching. Tariq Skubal, one of the best pitchers in baseball. They have Riley Green, who's been getting hot. Just an absolutely fun team to watch right now. A great underdog team. So you have to shout them out for underdog of the week. It'll be interesting to see if they can make it in the playoffs and if they can do something, because no one would have expected that at all. So would be interesting to see. All right. So we're going to head into our news segment, and we're going to start with the NFL. We're just going to list our 3 takeaways from week 3 of the NFL, starting with Matt. What are your 3 takeaways?
So my first takeaway I put down for this week is after watching the game last night, going back to the Commanders-Bengals game, I'm saying Bengals finished last in the division.
They're off to a slow start.
Slow start. They almost came back at the end, but I mean, it's just Joe Burrow's not looking good. The blonde hair is not. It's not Joe Burrow. He looks more like Ellen DeGenerate than an NFL quarterback.
Oh,
right.
The second one, I put Jaden Daniels wins Rookie of the Year after that performance. As a Cowboys fan, I hate to see it. But like, dude,
it's fair
the
to
Commanders
say though.
look good.
They did.
Scary.
Yep.
And then after the Raiders game, I think that was Gardner Minshew's last start. I think he's going to get benched for Aiden O'Connell.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fair to say. All right, Mason, you want to give your takeaways?
Yeah, so how the Vikings looking, man? So they're looking legit. Sam Darnold at the helm, 17 for 28, 181 yards, 4 touchdowns, and connected deep with Justin Jefferson. That warmed the hearts of all the Vikings fans right there. So that was my first takeaway, that Vikings are on a tear right now. So we'll see what they can do. And then Jawan Jennings really stepped up for the 49ers. I know they lost against the Rams, kind of the heart killer for all the 49ers fans, but 11 receptions, 175 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So if it was me and I was the Niners GM, which would be crazy, but I would not have paid Ayuk all that money just for him to underperform the way he has. And Jawan Jennings, a wide receiver three, to be able to put up these kind of numbers. So that's my second takeaway. And then how about Andy Dalton? His bi-yearly appearance, coming out with 26 completions, 37 attempts, 319 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Everyone loves a little red rifle action. So that was kind of cool to see for the Panthers finally get their first win.
Yeah, those are all really good takeaways. My first takeaway of the week is that when Russell Wilson is healthy again, there should be no debate who QB1 is, and that's Justin Fields. I mean, the Steelers look like a pretty good football team right now. Like, I'm not saying what they're doing is like amazing and they're like a lock to make it to the playoffs and stuff like that. I'm not saying that by any means, but they're playing good football. They're 3-0. They have a great defense, and Justin Fields looks like he can sort of control that offense. So I don't think that they should test with that when Russell Wilson comes back. I think that Justin Fields should 100% be the QB1 of the future for them. Number 2, you and me agree on this, Mason. I said that Vikings are legit and they have one of the best defenses, and Sam Darnold is more than capable of leading the Vikings to the playoff. Not much to add on to what you said earlier. They just have looked amazing. Sam Darnold's looked super, super good. A lot of people are forgetting how young he is. I didn't know this until I saw the post that he's actually younger than Joe Burrow, which is kind of crazy. And what they're doing right now is special. Andrew Van Ginkel, former Dolphin, on the Vikings, making some big plays right now. One of the better linemen this year. So, yeah, that's my second takeaway. And for number 3, I had to mention the Dolphins in some sort of way. The Dolphins are at a crossing road right now, and they need to make a decision. They either need to trade for a legit quarterback that can help them till Tua comes back, if Tua comes back, or they need to tank the season and go for a high draft pick. They can't try to balance both options right now. They need to make a decision. I personally would like to see them just trade for a legit quarterback. I mean, there's so many options. Russell Wilson, who I was just talking about, Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill, Joe Flacco. And I hate to say it, but even Mac Jones could be a good option for this team. So I just want to see them trade for. I'm not into the Bryce Young thing.
Okay, all right, that'll be a different debate.
Yeah, we'll do that another day. They need to make a decision. So, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go into the MLB news of things because it's starting to heat up. Postseason's right around the corner. But starting out with the biggest headline in the MLB, Shohei Otani has become the first player to reach the 50-50 club. Right now, he is at 53 home runs and 55 stolen bases. Now, I don't really know if this is too much of a question to debate on, but is he the best player in baseball? Matt, go ahead and start.
Dude, hands down, he's the best player in baseball. I mean, like, just looking at it, was he 51 for 51 now? It's insane. You haven't seen that since, like, Barry Bonds was smacking 60 home runs a season.
Right.
Like, it's insane. I mean, as much as I want Lindor to win MVP in the NL, it's not going to happen. Like, Otani clears anybody in the NL every day. And I think, like, it was like Mike Trout's the best player in baseball a couple years back. Now it's Otani's the face of baseball. Now. And just right when he gets back on the mound again next year.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be different. Yeah. And to add on to that with the whole Lindor thing, I almost wish that there was like a second place MVP for guys like Bobby Witt and Francisco Lindor, because their seasons have been incredible, but it's just not going to be looked at because of Judge and Otani. Yeah. So I do like hope that Lindor and Witt can get looked at and be like, oh, they had great seasons.
Yeah, but they're both two shortstops that have been absolutely balling. But baseball's a power hitting game. Girls dig the long ball, so.
Right.
You gotta.
All right, Mason, do you think Otani is the best player in baseball?
Yeah, I do think so. He's definitely the most well-rounded, and it's showing for how the Dodgers are doing. He's doing exactly what they need for them to win. So, Aaron Judge, he's great. Don't get me wrong, but he is very streaky. He's very streaky, and that's shown in our record at times. But there's just really nothing else for me to add. Matt kind of touched on it all. As Shohei's the best player in baseball now.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think he's by far the best player in baseball. Maybe in 5 years from now, we'll be saying Pete Crow Armstrong's the best player in baseball. Though. You never know. So
here we go.
We'll see. No, but all jokes aside, that game he had to get to the 50-50 mark. I mean, 6 for 6. 10 RBIs, 3 home runs. That's just absurd. So
greatest game in history.
I mean, look, is it very unlikely that he won't hit 7 home runs and get 5 stolen bases in this last series?
I saw that.
But it's in Coors Field, so there's like a small little thing in the back of my mind saying, can he reach the 60-60 club? But I don't think he will, but that would be crazy if he did. So going on to the next headline, talking about more of the lows in the MLB, the White Sox have now lost 120 games, which is the worst since the 1962 Mets, who also had 120 losses. Should the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, sell the team?
100%. 100%. He put out a statement last week that they're not spending any money in the offseason. This team's going in shambles. Like, I think he should sit down, either sell the team or watch Moneyball 100 times on repeat. Like,
Right.
with their personnel, like, they have household names on that team. It's just nobody wants to be on the White Sox. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you're like, you go to the White Sox, you're like, dude, why am I here? Like, your whole level, you don't play up to your opponents. You're playing down, like, under your opponents. It's not good. Like, that whole vibe, the whole aura in Chicago right now is not looking good.
Right. Okay, Mason.
It's just like Matt said, they're just so low beyond all the other teams. They're a AAA team playing MLB baseball. So,
Triple A's a
like they
reach.
got guys like, yeah, that's true. They got that what was it, closer Mason Miller, who throws absolute heat, and he's just
That's that.
Oh wait, no, that's A's.
the
My bad.
Similar situation.
Similar situation.
Yes.
I was thinking selling teams. My bad.
You're good.
But yeah, no,
that's
White
fine.
Sox. Yeah, it's just past 5 seasons they only had one winning season. And that one's 93-69, and then the next season after that they went even, and they just only progressively gotten worse. So I think there's no question that he should sell the team.
100%.
Yeah. As a Cubs fan, looking at the little brothers in the South Side, I do feel a little bad for them, but not really because Cubs on top. But you look at the year I saw the quotes too, Matt, of where he said he's not willing to spend the money. And that just baffles me because the year he did spend some money was in 2020, that COVID year. And that's when Jose Abreu won MVP.
Yeah,
was it a short season? Yes, but they had the MVP. They made a playoff run. I don't get why you don't want to just spend the money. Like, what owner doesn't want to spend money?
Yeah,
like,
that's
I
your
get
job.
you're bad right now, but that's your job to make your team better. Like, there's a similar situation going on with the Cubs. They're not willing to spend a lot of big money, but they're at least willing to spend some money. And I just don't get why. I think he needs to sell the team. I feel bad for White Sox fans, if there is any at this point, because it's just an embarrassing season. And those players, credit to them for putting up with what they've had to put up with this year. It's unfortunate to see, but yeah, they should definitely sell the team.
Yeah,
all right, heading into our final topic for the MLB. The postseason is right around the corner. Who is your guys' surprise team coming into the playoffs? Because we're going to go into depth more about the favorites and stuff like that next week. I just want to know who your teams to watch out for are for this upcoming postseason. Matt, go ahead.
All right. So I first put the Tigers, but I feel like we've covered them a lot. So I'm going to switch it, do a game time switch. I'm going to do the Padres because last month or 2 months ago, they were 50-50.
Yep.
Nowhere near even the wild card. Now they're 93-63, somewhere around that range. 20 games over 500. Tatis has been heating up. I feel like every time I go on Instagram, I see him hitting a walk-off every night.
Right.
Tatis has been heating up. I mean, I think the Padres are going to make a run. I'm scared. They're going to get the first round bye in the wild card. So the Mets
might be playing the
them.
Mets. Oh, they won't be? Oh,
yeah,
I thought I saw a picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good.
I think the Mets are projected the Brewers right now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because we moved up to second.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
that's good.
I think the Padres, they have a little cupcake schedule into the playoffs. I think they can do some damage. Like, they've been so hot over the last couple months, and they should be a good team to watch.
For sure. Mason, who's your team?
So I'm most excited to shout out Matt. I'm most excited to watch the Mets, especially upcoming till October. We go on against the Braves this series, and that'll be very exciting to watch as far as placement and all that. But yeah, if they can beat them and then beat the Brewers at the end of the regular season, it's a very tough NL conference. AL I feel like is a little bit more, it's got its spikes, but NL is kind of all over the place, and it's just there's no telling. But yeah, I'm excited to watch the Mets.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the NL path is a lot harder to get to the World Series this year than the AL is. I think the AL has its couple of favorites, and NL is a lot more tricky. Matt, great minds think alike, because I also picked the Padres for this section. They're 90-66 right now, which we were just talking about. 8-2 in their last 10 games. And if you put them in a different division, they're probably they're going to win their division in most of the NL divisions. They're stuck with the Dodgers in their division. So you look at their offense is great. Jurickson Profar has been a great hitter all year long. You got Tatis, who's been heating up. Louis Arias, who I think was such a great pickup for them. He's batting 323 right now for them. Just a phenomenal hitter. You got Manny Machado, who has that playoff experience. You got a solid Rookie of the Year candidate in Jackson Merrill, who's looked phenomenal this year. And you got Xander Bogaerts, who's a good veteran to have. You have a great pitching rotation in Dylan Cease, Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish, Kane, and Martin Perez. Those guys all look good this year. That's the most important thing, is having a good rotation going into a playoff run. And your bullpen has good options in Robert Suarez and Tanner Scott, a good righty and a good lefty. And you got Jeremiah Estrada, who's been one of the better relief pitchers too. So I think they have such a complete team that a lot of people aren't going to see them coming. I think it could be like what the Diamondbacks were last year, where they just kind of sneak up on a team and they take them out. So I'm very excited to watch the Padres. I've always been a huge Tatis fan, so it'll be fun to watch them, and I think that they'll be a big threat. All right, so we're going to head into the college football news, starting with the biggest headline. Arch Manning leads the number 1 ranked Texas college, to 51-3 victory in his first start. What are your early thoughts on Arch Manning?
I think Quinn Ewers, this is last year, and I'm not big into college football. This is last year in it, right?
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing, like, there isn't like big household names in college football quarterbacks anymore. I mean, you have Shadur Sanders, Quinn Ewers. I mean, that I just can't think of and I think Arch Manning will be that household name next year when he gets a starting job. I mean, he's our age and he's out there doing stuff I couldn't do in a million years. It's insane.
Right.
And I think he probably should be like the best odds for Heisman next year.
I can see that. Mason, how do you feel about the guy that's around the same age as us?
I gotta lean more towards the last name. Like I said the other weeks, I love the Mannings, love everything they do. But he did have a bit. He had a good game, but kind of from what we've seen from him, he went 15 for 29, so almost half of his passes were completed. 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So, I mean, he's been killing it against the smaller schools from who he's played. The only big team that Texas has played so far was with Quinn Ewers starting. So I'd love to see him play a highly ranked team and a team that would give him a run for his money. So till then, I'm just gonna keep loving on it. So yeah.
Yeah, as someone who's not as into college football as you, Mason, just like Matt said, he has looked impressive to me, and he's a name I hear a lot. I actually saw this post where he reached the same top speed as Tyreek Hill, which is just crazy.
Yep.
20.4 miles per hour, I think it was, or something crazy like that. Yeah, he's looked pretty good. And like Matt said, next year when he gets to become a full-time starter, I think he's going to be like a pretty good Heisman option. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Next in the college football news, James Madison defeats UNC 70-50. What are your thoughts on the upset, Mason? We'll start with you on this one since you're big into college football.
Okay. I can't preach this enough. I've always loved the underdogs. Just always. And Alonzo Bennett, the quarterback for JMU, went 22 for 34, 388 yards passing, and 5 touchdowns. That's just passing. Rushing, he went 13 carries, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So by himself, he had 7 touchdowns. So I don't know. I haven't heard of this guy before, but he definitely made a name for himself going against UNC. And UNC is a pretty highly regarded school when it comes to just sports in general. So to be able to put up a performance like that, and for UNC to lose while dropping 50 points, I think it's a little ridiculous. It just shows how crazy college football can really be.
Matt?
For like JMU, they just went up to FBS like a year or two ago, right?
Yeah.
And just to like be a big Division I powerhouse in UNC 70-50, like that's insane to think about. JMU, they're like D2 like 5 years ago, and they're already out here wiping the floor versus these big behind teams, and it's just insane to watch. I love underdog stories, so it's fun to watch those games.
Yeah, I third that. I'm a big underdog story fan, so pretty crazy to see 70-50. That's a barn burner of a game. After hearing those stats you just read off, Mason, that's a crazy game. So I'm gonna have to catch the highlights of that game. I'm not gonna lie, I did not see anything about that game. I just saw the score. But after hearing what you guys have said about it, I definitely need to go look into that. It's a crazy game. So going into the next topic, we have probably the most talked about team in college football for some reason. Colorado made a heroic comeback, beating Baylor 38-31 with a late Hail Mary to force overtime and Travis Hunter forcing a fumble for the win. Is Colorado like a good team in your eyes? Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Matt.
Matt.
No, dude. No, it's Colorado. Dude. It's like you beat Baylor, you beat Colorado State. I want to see them. What was it last year? They started off 2-0 and then
something
could
like
they
that.
win
They
a
lost
game
to
to save
Colorado
their life.
State. Yeah, I think they lost to Colorado State
I just
last year.
think I want to see them go up against a ranked team, a powerhouse team. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love Travis Hunter. You don't see a person like that every single day, dude. Like cornerback, wide receiver. Like you go up on stats and they're showing his touchdown to interception ratio. Like that's insane.
That's crazy.
Like, but I think they could maybe sneak in the top 25 here soon, but I just don't see them doing what they need to do, like making the playoffs or anything. I think they're really overrated.
Yeah. Mason?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit it on the head with wanting to see a high ranked team. They beat good guys, but the only real big team that they faced so far is Nebraska, and they got whooped by Nebraska. So we don't know how they're gonna play under pressure when it comes to a high ranked scenario. And I don't know if I can trust Shadur and his ego at a big position like starting quarterback when it comes to if he starts crumbling, the whole team crumbles, and he is very easily to flip that fuse and just blow up. So we'll see how it goes, but I don't think that they're going to do too much. They got UCF this week, and we'll see what they do against them because UCF's been pretty underrated as well. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, speaking of that UCF game this upcoming week, I actually have UCF beating them. UCF's looked incredible so far. Their rushing stats have been impressive. Their offensive line is amazing. I can see them beating them. But as far as Colorado goes, I feel like what Matt kind of hinted at, it does feel very similar to last season when they won those first 3 games and everyone's talking about them, saying, oh, they're the team to watch right now. They're excited. Then they go and play Oregon, and Oregon single-handedly destroys their season because they faced a real team. So I kind of agree with Matt there. I think that when they face a real team or two, they're not gonna beat them. I think they have very talented people in Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, but outside of that, I don't think you have like a good group of like guys that can win you games against those kind of teams. I don't think they're in that caliber yet. And also, like you said, Mason, with Shedeur Sanders' ego, you never know what you're like. It's hard to say with him. I can't get a read on him personally. Like Travis Hunter, he's going to come in and ball out every game. He's a ball player. You look at Shedeur Sanders, you don't know if the moment's going to be too big for him because of his ego and stuff like that. So I just don't think they're in that tier of like college football yet. And I do get, but I don't get why the media hypes them up so much. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what I got to say about them. I think their win against Baylor was like a good win, but if it's coming down to a Hail Mary too at the same time, it's like, is it really that great of a win? I mean, a win's a win.
And a drop. The guy dropped it. The play right before. They got bailed out. I'm talking about bailed out. So
yeah. All right. So now we're going to be going into the main event of this episode. As I said to start the episode, Matt here is a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, and Mason, we know, is a big Giants fan. As being a friend of these two, I have listened to them debate about these games for probably the past five or 6 years now. So I just wanted to have you guys hear one of these debates, the viewers. We're going to talk about the upcoming game this week between Dallas and the Giants. I'm going to start out. I'm just going to be a moderator here and let you two go at it because who am I to say anything about your two teams? Okay, so my first question for you guys is who will win the NFC East rivalry between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants? Matt, go ahead and start.
All right, dude, I'm not like.
Here we go.
I
Here
know
we
it's
go.
been like a rough couple games for Dallas. It has. I've sat there, watched all of them, cried. It's not been fun. But Dak Prescott does not lose to the New York Football Giants, dude. He does not. He has not lost in his career to them. We haven't lost to them besides one time when Andy Dalton was quarterback. We lost to them in like 6 years ago. But Dak does not lose to the Giants, and it will not start on Thursday. He will not lose. It won't happen. It's like you can't. It's like a pig can't fly. Dak Prescott can't lose to the Giants. It's just how life works, Mason. It's death, taxes, and Dak Prescott beating the Giants.
All right. Okay.
All right, Mason, what do you got to say?
So I think realistically we'll split this year, starting with a Giants win this Thursday night. A Giants win at home this Thursday night. We all know what happened last week when Cowboys play, or last year when Cowboys played in New York. 40-0, whatever. First, that was a bad year anyway.
Do I need to look up the text saying like, "Oh,
You
Giants
don't
are
have
beating
to
the
look
Cowboys
up
55
nothing. Listen. I think we'll split this year, and
I don't.
that's my answer for that. We got Malik
see.
Neighbors. We got Malik Neighbors. We got Brian Burns. I'm feeling good.
I do not. I just can't see it happening. Since we have been friends, Mason, since me and you met
I know.
in 9th grade, Dak Prescott has not lost to the Giants. How does that make you feel?
Yep. It makes me feel that's just gonna make Thursday feel so much better because when our pass rush I'm talking here. When our pass rush gets to Dak Prescott, he's gonna crumble. And I'm talking about crumble. Oh no, I can't say that. But yeah, let's go. I'm excited for it. Go ahead, Grant. Next question.
Well, I'm gonna let Matt. You got anything to say to that? What he just?
Yeah, Grant. Me and you have seen this every year. We hear the same thing every single year, and then Mason winds up in 6th grade English class in a Cowboys jersey. It always happens every year, dude.
You have no proof I did that.
Mason, it doesn't even faze me anymore. Just because you say the same thing every year.
All right.
As moderator, I can neither confirm nor deny what was just said, but let's just say Mason has worn a Cowboys jersey before because of a wager that was put up in the past. Next question. What will be the factor for your team to win this Thursday? Matt,
Want me to go first? You want to go, Mason?
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
For it.
Right.
Go for it.
I think it's CeeDee Lamb getting his head out of his butt. I think if he can play to the money we just paid him's potential, I think it should be a breeze. I mean, last week, he didn't have a bad game. He went 6 receptions for like 84 yards. But it's like he threw a temper tantrum on the sideline. Like, it was giving me flashbacks of OBJ, bro. Like, I was feeling scared for our kicker's net after what CD was doing. And, like, I just think if he can lock in, like, dude, it's early in the season. Get it all out last game. If we can just come in, it's the Giants. Like, it's like we're playing the Port Orange Hawks, dude. Like, I just don't see, like,
my
God.
I just don't see us losing.
All right, Mason, what do you got to say to that?
I think so. If our CeeDee Lamb is really my biggest worry when it comes to the Cowboys, and if I'm not too fond of our corners, I'll say, but I think that we've just seen the beginning of Dak versus CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's gonna pull an AB and run out of MetLife Stadium with his pads off at halftime when they're losing 30-0, getting their butt whooped. But yeah, I think our defense. Nah, that was just kidding. But I think if our defense can stop CD, I'm not worried about Zeke at all. That man's washed. But yeah, so that's really my only concern.
All right.
Don't look at.
You got a rebuttal to that, or
that? Don't Zeke. Oh my God,
dude. All I'm saying, if Devin Singletary's open to pick up in fantasy, I'd pick him up this week. Cowboys defense, dude, they can't stop water from hitting a boat, bro. Like, it's bad.
Fair enough.
I'd pick up anytime you see Cowboys on your schedule, pick up the opposing running back. They're gonna have 200 yards and 12 touchdowns.
All right. So going back into this game coming up on Thursday, what is your guys' official score prediction? Let's start with Mason on this one.
Okay. Realistically, I think it'll be I want it to be a close game the whole time. I think it's going to be 21-17 Giants.
Okay.
I think
All right.
I think that's realistic. I think it's realistic, you know. Go ahead, Matt.
Matt, go ahead.
35-10. Dallas.
Oh my god.
Blowout. Okay.
Dude.
I mean, to be fair, Mason, to be fair, that's what happened last year in the first
Both
matchup.
games.
It
Both
was
games last year.
Oh, yeah,
It
both
was
games.
last year. Whatever, man.
What was it, like 40-10,
Wait.
then 45-7 or something? 44-7?
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
dude,
last
like-
year though. Last year didn't count.
Oh, last year didn't count. Yeah. Tell Saquon
It was just a setup for neighbors. It was just a setup for neighbors. Now neighbors gonna put a tear on y'all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Trayvon who? Right.
Okay. Going into the next question, who do you think will have a better game, Malik Neighbors or CeeDee Lamb? Matt, I'll let you start with this one.
It's not a question, dude. It's not a question. All right, go ahead.
You want me to be honest?
Yep.
I think Neighbors will have a better game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
this question should be who had a better game, Jake Ferguson or Malik Neighbors?
Dude, we don't even have a tight end for real. Oh,
Jake Ferguson's our new
dude.
wide receiver one. I don't care if he's a tight end. He's our new wide receiver one.
That's not the
Okay.
question. That's not the
So
question.
you
I
think
think
Jake
Neighbors-
Ferguson has potential to be better than Neighbors this week?
Yeah. My vote's Neighbors is the best receiver this week.
Okay.
I think Neighbors is the best. Neighbors.
Oh, I thought, okay, you made it seem like
Yeah.
Ferguson was going to be, okay.
No, I think Ferguson's
Oh,
going to be better than CeeDee Lamb this week.
Oh, okay.
But I think
Okay.
Neighbors will have the best stat line.
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah,
All right,
I mean,
Mason.
I agree. I think Neighbors will get a lot more targets, and that's just a fact. But we'll see if CD. I'm very concerned about Deontay Banks, our starting cornerback one, going against CD because he made Amari Cooper on the Browns look like he was Amari Cooper on the Cowboys, and that's
Yeah, I saw
scary.
that.
That's
Yeah.
very scary. So if Amari Cooper can put up 2 touchdowns on the Browns against Deontay Banks, I'm honestly scared what CD could do. So I'm not limiting, or I'm not gonna, like I've been saying, if our defense can just stop CD, that's my biggest worry, you know. But I think Malik will have a better game just because consistency and targets alone.
Okay, fair enough. My next question is going to be probably one of the bigger headlines for the Cowboys going into the season. We know Dak got that big contract. My question for you guys is, should Dak Prescott be the highest paid player in football? Matt, I'll let you
I don't have
start.
to say a thing.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Last year, Dak Prescott finished second in MVP voting. The last 4 years, Cowboys have finished 12-5. If you're looking at it from that standpoint, yes, he should be. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league the last 5-6 years. But if you're looking at every other statistic possible, he should not be. You guys are going to sound like I'm corny for this, but if you put his stats next to Patrick Mahomes' stats, taking away any playoffs, just regular season, Dak Prescott has better stats.
That's fair to
But
say.
right when you throw January and February football in there, Dak Prescott thinks it's time to go sleep on the couch.
That's very fair to say.
I just think
I agree.
if you're looking at it from regular season the last 5 or 6 years, the Cowboys have been phenomenal, one of the best teams. But his stats have been amazing. He's led the league in touchdowns last year, came second in passing yards. It's like he does what he needs to do. Like last week versus the Ravens, he had 376 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's like he does what he needs to do, but it's just when the playoffs come, I'm not saying it's all on Dak that we lose in the playoffs, but it like everybody kind of just like AT&T Stadium like shuts down. Nobody knows what they're doing. So I think it depends on the way you look at it. If you're looking at his regular season stats, what he's done in his career, I think he has one of the best numbers in the game. But do I personally think he's worth the money? No. Before this year, I was hoping he was going to go on to the Patriots and Trey Lance was going to be starting, but that's me. But
all right, Mason, real quick, got anything to say to that?
No, I mean, he pretty much touched on it all. The only thing that really matters at the end of the day is January and February football. So it's shown that he hasn't been able to figure that out. So that's
all right.
All it is.
So sticking the quarterback conversation real quick for the sake of time, I'll answer this quickly. Do you think that Daniel Jones is the answer at QB for the Giants long term? No. Matt says no.
No, but if he can play the way he did against the Browns, he'll delay his replacement probably for the season.
He's gonna be the best backup quarterback in the league next year.
I can see that.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Okay. All right. This one is probably let's try to keep this one quick because I know you guys could probably ramble about this for a while. Who is the more historically better team, the Cowboys or the Giants?
Mason, go first.
Can I ask a question? Yeah, okay. All right. So if we're talking about just 1900s, I'm talking about white wigs, all that stuff, George Washington, I don't even know.
White wigs?
I'll give it to the Cowboys. I'll give that to the Cowboys. But if we're talking about relevancy, 2000s and on, it's the Giants. Bro, how many Super Bowls do y'all have in the 2000s? Dude, you can't
see relative.
0, 97.
Bro, the last 5
was the last
6
time
years,
y'all had a Super Bowl.
The last 5 6 years, y'all haven't done anything. Talk about like the
We've
2000s.
accomplished. Hold on. We've accomplished the same amount of playoff wins in the last 5 years. How about that?
Bro, y'all have not done anything. Don't say
with Daniel Jones.
Bro, no, like 2000s. I'll give y'all 2000s. You did your thing.
Right.
Anything's past that, and now nothing.
That 2022. 2022, we won a playoff game. When did y'all win a playoff game?
Remember when we knocked Tom Brady out of the playoffs?
When was that? Like 21?
Last year. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago in Tampa. Tom Brady's last game ever. Dak Prescott dropped 40 on their head. 2022.
Okay, so we both won a playoff game last time. So
Dak Prescott has beat the Lions twice in his career in the playoffs. So he's won 3 playoff games. 2016 and 2018.
Right, and he still hasn't gone anywhere with it.
So where have you guys gone since 2016?
Okay, what about 2012?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys got like when we were 6 years old. Like, that's all you guys, bro.
Bro, y'all haven't like finished it though. Y'all
How
just like
Super
right
Bowl
there.
You guys have?
Bro, we have 4, but still.
Oh,
y'all have 5. Whoa, y'all have Jerry Jones as an owner. We all saw what he's been doing.
What does that have to do with it? We're talking about the history, bro.
All right. I'm gonna have to butt in here because I know that you guys could talk about
whatever,
this. And we'll probably talk about it a little bit after the show even. But last question I have for you guys. As we hinted at earlier, there has been wagers in the past between you two, whether it's wearing the other team's jersey or posting the other team on your Instagram saying they're the best.
You guys?
Is there gonna be a wager this year for the losing team? And if so, what will it be?
Should we do both games?
I have no clue.
We'll do both games, but we'll start with this game.
All right.
Okay. So
do we want to do like
we'll
do one at the end of both games or just this first game?
No, we could do like a little or something, like a smaller something for this game, and then like do something bigger. If like say Giants get swept or something, but if it gets like if we both split the series, it'll be smaller.
I have something for you for this game.
Okay.
If the Cowboys beat the Giants, you have to go into the office Friday morning with the Cowboys jersey on.
Oh, wow. For those of you who don't know, Mason works for Matt's dad. So that would be going into the office of his dad, who's also a diehard Cowboys fan, wearing a Cowboys jersey. Are you willing to do that?
Okay. Yeah, I'm willing to do that.
Okay. And Mason, what would be your wager for Matt?
Oh, I got one. you would have to go to a Philadelphia Eagles game by yourself.
Bro, what? Are you paying for my plane ticket?
Yeah, are you paying?
In Tampa. No, in Tampa.
Are you paying
I don't
for
know,
my
dude.
ticket?
I can't. I know. I forget you wrote. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I have no idea. I thought it was gonna be kind of like, oh, you do this, and if you're not, I'll do that. I don't know. I
How
can't
about he
think of
has to
anything.
wear? How about you have to give him a Giants jersey to wear to campus, to class for a day?
That's fair. Yeah,
I have friends that are Giants fans. I can steal
Okay,
a
there we
jersey.
go. He'll have to wear a jersey
Okay,
to
that's fair.
class.
On Monday. On Monday.
Okay,
class.
so there's the wagers.
I was going a little extreme. My bad.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, bro. I'm not going to Tampa, bro. It's like 6 hours away from me.
All right, so there's the wagers. There's the predictions. You guys have all heard it now. Matt, thank you for coming on. It was a fun episode this week. And for the viewers, thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of the Mason, what are you doing?
Bro, my Alexa's going off.
Oh, it's
I was just gonna say
ahead,
that we can both agree that we both hate the Philadelphia Eagles. So
yeah, I hate Philadelphia.
That's one thing that we can agree on.
Okay, there we go. Some mutual ground there. All right. Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of the GM Sports Report, where every play counts. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to be able to see our weekly episodes on all things sports. For additional content, check the description to see links to our Instagram and TikTok accounts. This is Grant, Mason, and Matt signing off for now. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you.